Hi, guys. This is our last chapter 11 topic. And these practice buddies were really tricky because you were adding a ton of fractions and subtracting and lots of stuff. So today we're kind of just agreeing or disagreeing with what people are saying. That's why we have the thumbs up and thumbs down. So our WALT is to critique the reasoning of others using an understanding of line plots. So using what we know about line plots to say whether we agree with someone or we disagree and why. So I want you to get your whiteboard, your paper, whatever. Please pause this and go get it because you're going to use it for more than just the solve and share. I want you to be trying these as we go. So that way, when you get to the independent slides, you've had tons of practice and you're ready to go. So, solve and share. A class made a line plot showing the amount of snowfall for 10 days. So here's the amount of snowfall for 10 days. Nathan analyzed the line plot and said the difference between the greatest amount of snowfall recorded and the least amount of snowfall recorded is 3 because the first measurement has 1 dot and the last measurement has 4 dots. How would you respond to Nathan's reasoning? Pause me. Try it. I'm even going to give it a couple of awkward moments so that to make sure you try it. Okay, I hope you have something on your whiteboard. But let's solve this together. So let's read this again. A class made a line plot showing the amount of snowfall for 10 days. Nathan analyzed the line plot and said the difference between the greatest amount of snowfall recorded and the least amount of snowfall recorded is 3 because the first measurement has 1 dot, 3/4 has 1 dot, and the last measurement has 4 dots, 1, 2, 3, 4. How would you respond to Nathan's reasoning? Well, the important thing to remember is that the dots do not represent the same thing as the numbers. So the dots represent how many times it snowed. The numbers represent the amount of snowfall in inches. So if we wanted to find the difference between the greatest amount of snowfall and the least amount of snowfall, we would have to subtract the numbers and the fractions, not the dots. So we would tell Nathan that he was incorrect because he had to subtract 1 3/4, which was the greatest amount of snowfall, minus 3/4, which was the least amount of snowfall, and we are left with 1 inch. So, and if I had a pencil, but because this is so hard to write with, I would write, I'll try it. Nathan was incorrect. And I would go on to say Nathan was incorrect because he counted the dots instead of the snowfall in inches. And this is how I would solve it. So you're not just saying if he was wrong or right, you're saying if he was wrong or right, why, and then what is the real answer. Okay, here's another one I want you to try with me. At a dog show, a judge wrote down the heights of 12 dogs. Cole made a line plot of the heights shown to the right, or to the below. He concluded the height with the most dots is 1 1/4 feet. So that is the greatest height of the dogs at the dog show. So let's read that again. He concluded the height with the most dots is 1 1/4 feet. So that is the greatest height of the dogs at the dog show. So it's asking, what is his conclusion? So his conclusion is that the greatest height of the dogs is 1 1/4. How did he reach this conclusion? Well, he reached this conclusion because he sees the most number of dots above 1 1/4. The second part asks, is Cole's conclusion correct? Give me a thumbs up if he's correct. Give me a thumbs down if he is incorrect. If you gave me a thumbs down, you are correct. Cole is not Correct. Just because 1 and 1/4 has the most dots just means that the most amount of dogs were that height, but we know that the greatest height of a dog was 3 feet. So that is what I would explain. So Cole is incorrect. The greatest height of a dog is 3 inches. But it first asks, what is his conclusion and how did he get there? So you are explaining that step by step. Okay, I hope you're still trying these with me. Let's read the next one. Natasha keeps a log of the total amount of time her students practice on their violins outside of their weekly lesson. She creates the line plot shown. Each dot represents one student who practices a specific amount of time in 1 week. Natasha says that 5 of her students' practice time combined is 1 and 1/4 hours because there are 5 dots at 1 and 1/4. Whoops. Sorry, I just want to move myself so you can see these dots. So what she's saying is that if we go to 1 and 1/4, which is right here because 1/2, 1/4, 1 whole, 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 2. So this is 1 and 1/4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She's saying that combined, it's 1 and 1/4 because there are 5 dots. But we know that if there were 5 dots, we would have to add 1 and 1/4 how many times? Say it out loud. We would have to add 1 and 1/4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. 1 and 1/4 plus 1 and 1/4 plus 1 and 1/4 plus 1 and 1/4 plus 1 and 1/4 equals. Let me just backtrack a minute. What is Natasha's argument? How does she support it? So her argument is that because there are 5 dots at 1 and 1/4, if you combine them, you get 1 and 1/4. That is her argument, and that is how she supports it. We know that she is incorrect. Why? Because the number of dots need to be added together. So we do not agree with her. So let's find the real answer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/4, which is also equal to, sorry, this thing is hard to write with, 1 and 1/4. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1/4 would be her total. So she was incorrect. You would be writing this out. I'm just not doing that because I have this marker. Okay, so we're using the same line plot. How many students combined spent 1 and 1/4 hours practicing violin? We just solved that on the other slide. I got ahead of myself, so we said it was 6 and 1/4. Okay. Let me move myself back down here, and then I'll move myself back up. So you are still trying this with me. Lee made a line plot of how long his classmates could hold their breath underwater. Each dot represents a student who can hold their breath for a specific amount of time. Lee says that 5 students combined can hold their breath for 2 and 2/4 of a minute. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 students can hold their breath for 2 and 2/4 of a minute, but he has that key word. And what is that key word? Combined. So if we were to combine how long they could hold their breath, it would not be 2 and 2/4 of a minute because we would have to add them. So what is Lee's argument? How does he support it? Well, he says his argument is that 5 students combined can hold their breath for 2 and 2/4 minutes. And how does he support it? Because there are 5 dots over 2 and 2/4. Critique Lee's argument. Is he correct? Why or why not? No. Whoops. No. He is not correct because you have to add the number of dots. I'm sorry, you have to add 2 and 2/4 5 times. Whoops. Okay, so let's do that. 2 and 2/4 plus 2 and 2/4 plus 2, and you should be doing this too, match your answer to mine, plus 2 and 2/4, 1, 2, 3, 4, plus 2 and 2/4 equals, okay, my fractions first, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10/4, 2, now I'm adding my whole numbers, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, I can't leave this like this, this is 2 and 2/4, if I add 10 and 2, I get 12 and 2/4. So they can hold their breath combined for 12 and 2/4 minutes. So, amazing job. Now try on your own. Complete the 11 independent practice slides and turn them in once you finish. I will be on Google Meets. I'll send a link at 1 o'clock. If you want to walk through your slides with me, ask questions about your practice buddy, you don't understand something, or you just want to be there to check in, I will be there. So join if you have any questions or you need a refresher. Go find those 11 independent practice slides.